Welcome to the Willville City Gym.
Welcome back to the Willville City Gym, where it's free to like and subscribe. How else are we going to get to the 250 subscriber giveaway? Today, we're bringing an exciting item lock spread deck.
Are you kidding me?
No, Knox, I'm not kidding. It features my favorite Pokemon Snorunt and its evolution Froslass, and we have Crazy Chris that's going to be showcasing it. Budew starting off will lock important rare candy-based decks like Charizard, Dragapult, and Gardevoir, which at this point is why they're moving to TM Evo builds. However, plenty of decks like Raging Bull, Pokegear 3.0, Finding Sada's Vitality, so it can lock up plenty of decks.
I love Munkidori. Being able to move 3 damage counters off your Pokemon to your opponent, essentially healing while damaging. And let me guess, you love Froslass because it'll damage Munkidori,
of
right,
course,
Will?
But don't worry, putting some damage on Munkidori is good. That allows you to have consistent damage to move over, which is really important.
Makes sense. But no big closers, right?
No, but however, spreading damage really adds up. Devolving your opponent towards the end can finish them off. There's plenty of ways to close out the game while frustrating your opponent.
Hey, if there is any silver lining, it's really annoying, just like prismatic evolution scalpers. And I got a story for you, Will.
Were you yelling at employees?
Nah, even better, I got a scalper the other day.
How'd you do that?
Hey, did I just see you walking out of Tyrant and Target with 6 elite trainer boxes? Are you planning on reselling those?
Yeah, that'll be $120, please.
Don't have that, but actually I have some base set cards. Those are super rare, and you can buy them for me and then resell them for a ton of money. I'll sell them to you for like $300. You can flip them for $500. That's a cool $200 to me.
Whoa, that's awesome. I'll buy them all.
Thanks for doing business with me, you Weedle lover.
Wonderful, that's a deal. How did you know that?
It's obvious.
I see what you did there.
Yup, young Knox used to his Pokemon cards like Ninja Stars, throwing them at kids on the playground. The fronts looked okay, but the back's white as a ghost. And that guy will be lucky if you sell them for 50
for you,
bucks.
Knox. Okay, well, we'll take you down to the action with Chris.
And the coin flip, the opponent calls tails, and it looks like Chris will be going first. Ha ha, Will, see, tails never fails. Yeah, right. It worked out for us, didn't it? Whatever, dude. With this deck, it's really important for Chris to get set up effectively right away. Seems like 2 Froslasses have been pretty good, as well as getting 1 or 2 Munkidoris down right away is important. Yeah, since my poop-fleeing primate friend only has 110 HP, having too many Froslasses can be counterproductive, since you are more or less putting on 120 damage on the Munkidori after 2 turns. When we talk about toxic, Froslass, you're an evil witch. Well, you are right, it does hit both sides, so being careful on how much damage is put on the Munkidori in play, you gotta put that in your consciousness. The good news is it does play plenty of dark energies in this deck, so finding them, it's not too bad. The opponent plays the rare candy builded Dragapult, so this is a great deck to lock out the opponent. We see Chris start with the Snorunt in the active and has a Munkidori in hand to bench. I'm wondering what he's gonna grab off that Buddy-Buddy Poffin and that Nest Ball. Probably gonna sell his soul and place that stinking Budew down. Budew is a strategy up front. He can slow down the opponent while building up the board. Dragapult is a tricky deck to play against though because it doesn't have any abilities. However, Dracloak does, and if he puts down a wimpy Lumineon or a stupid Rotom, that is plenty of good targets to take out. Definitely, and having that rescue board for the Snorunt's nice. Has an additional free retreater, and doesn't have to waste an energy attachment to get back to the bench. Very resourceful. I'd agree. And we see a pass into the opponent where they'll be starting with a Dreepy in the active. This is where it's going to be very important for the opponent to get out multiple Dreepies. They're really going to need to get the Dreepies evolved up to Dracloaks pretty quickly considering the item lock. Okay, well we see the opponent just benched a Lumineon here. Wimpiest fish ever! With the Lumineon, they'll likely grab an Arven out of the deck. That'll give them access to that Buddy-Buddy Poffin and a Sealstone. With the Arven, it'll give them access to a Buddy-Buddy Poffin and a Sealstone. The Poffins will allow them to grab 2 more Dreepies out of the deck, setting up nicely, and a Sealstone which they can place on the Lumineon to grab 1 more important card out of the deck when it's needed. Hey! That is a wimpy, 2-price Pokemon that's a prime target for all that voodoo witchcraft that Chris will be pulling off. Hey, you're absolutely right, and that's the fun part of this deck to an extent, is that these low hit point 2-price Pokemon are pretty easy to take out considering the fact that it only takes so many turns and there'll be the damage on. Along with those Munkidoris being able to move the damage around as well. So they are, to your point, very prime targets for that. But we do see another Budew coming out of the hand from the Ultra Ball. We'll see if the lock will be... Yep. Now both sides are item locking.
And they grab their own stinking Budew as well. See, this is why I said this is my last match. I refuse to play in a meta where the best Pokemon are only 30 hit points.
Yeah, well, it's all about strategy. Think about this, Knox. Your favorite Pokemon, Munkidori, you can knock that Budew out with one Adrena Brain ability.
That's a great point. You know what? I take back everything I said.
With Chris's turn, I'm sure you'll be using a Rita to grab a Froslass to pair with the other in hand, and grab an Earthen Vessel to start moving damage counters around with Munkidori.
Don't forget, Will, that little stink monster Budew. Item lock them, so that Earthen Vessel currently is pointless.
True, but the item lock can't last forever, and the opponent only has one card in hand. Now the good news here is with this Froslass in hand, they'll be evolving up the other Snorunt, so this will be placing an additional 4 damage counters each turn on that Lumineon as well. And we see an Itchy Pawn and item lock back to the opponent.
How disturbing! Look at all that damage that Froslass just put on. What a barbarian!
Right. We can only hope from here that the opponent does have a trainer card either in hand or on the top deck, considering they need to keep the game going. We see the opponent either had an Iono in hand or just top decked it. Either way, we're seeing a fresh hand for both players.
And hopefully, dark energies for Chris. Ooh, and there he is. Watch out, Budew. You're about to get slanged.
We see the opponent evolve the Dreepy up to a Dracloak, which is inevitably a double-edged sword. Dracloak is great for finding cards, however, it can be taking 2 damage counters between turns. They're going to have to find a way to evolve it pretty quickly, so we'll see what else is going to go on here with the item lock in place still. And Knox, wake up! Knox, are you serious?
What? This game is boring. This is the slowest match I've ever seen in my life. I cannot believe this.
Hey, I get it. It's just part of the way item lock works. The good news is that we have Gardevoir going next week, so stay tuned, guys.
I'll believe it when I see it.
And an Itchy Pawn for another item lock. Knox, where are you going?
To the bathroom. Have to throw up from this disgusting item lock 10 attack damage. Really? I didn't sign up for this.
Hey, get back over here.
Hey Chris, slow start there, but what are you going to do when both are playing Budew?
Yeah, you're right, Will. That is okay, and that's the game plan. Damage me moved around on Munkidori moved off, and that's how they get wrecked. Sup, Knox? Knock that stinking Budew out with Munkidori. Show him who's boss. Yeah, I will going after those Dracloaks. I'm feeling great about this matchup. Yeah, you're the strongest trainer at our gym. You got this. Next week, kick Corey's butt. He was talking crap about you and me last week. Are you kidding me? Corey will be looking like that guy from the Sheninja card next time I see him disrespecting you or I.
Guys, calm down. Okay, we're going to get back to the action.
It looks like Chris chose to go after the Dracloak with the Munkidori Adrena Brain ability. I suppose that Budew could go down anytime with moving damage counters. Plus, if they do get a Dragapult out, it gives them the opportunity to get that 90 damage on to eventually use the Devolution TM.
Good point. Why play checkers when you can play 4D chess?
Knox, you don't even know what that means.
That is what dumb people say when they're trying to sound smart.
You can say that again.
You know what really stinks? It's that Lumineon using Forest Sealstone. TPCI should have banned Lumineon from using it. Where's the errata?
They may have grabbed another Dracloak, getting 2 down and being able to see 4 cards during that turn is pretty good, along with benching a Duskull, which can be helpful with taking out one of Chris's benched Pokemon.
Dreepy is such a sneak and flies around with no regard for anyone else like a narcissist. I was chasing a Meowth that stole my sandwich, like the special one with an Urban Mosquito inside, real expensive. I was close to catching up to him, and out of nowhere, boom! I was knocked out unconscious. I would assume after a couple minutes at least. I regained consciousness and had a weird outline on my head, like the shape of a shovel.
And guess what? I watched the security camera, and it was that sneaky Dreepy flying right into me. And even worse, after he knocked me out, he started laughing at me with all of his friends. Now we see Iono with a fresh hand that can't hurt. Dang it! They just got a Dragapult. That means Munkidori's going down. What a sad sight to see. What about the Budew going down as well? Explode him to smithereens! Knox, how do you have the worst luck with Pokemon? That's a great question, Will. In my formal naval days, I got into a little squabble with a sandy gas and ripped that shovel right out of his head. Weird stuff has happened to me ever since. However, with the grudge that I hold against that sandy gas, it's never getting it back. I mean, considering all the stress that you go through, Knox, it sounds like actually giving it back would be a good idea, but to each his their own, I guess. Knox, to your point about the Pokemon going down, you're definitely right. And that is exactly what's happening here with Munkidori getting 5 damage counters placed on it, getting knocked out, and Budew going down as well. Now Chris is down 4 prizes to 6 prizes left. Cool thing about Munkidori in this list is he actually has a pretty good attack. Being able to move damage counters, plus attacking for 60 damage and confusing the opponent's Pokemon is pretty good. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Knox, since they really won't want to retreat the Dragapult to then lose the energy and maybe not have an attacker to return the attack. With the nest ball here, we can see what other basics that Chris has disposal to. Between that Radiant Charizard, the Bloodmoon Ursaluna, and the possibility of being able to spread damage more, there's a couple good options here that will... I thought you said in the beginning there was no good late game finishers. They must have changed the list then, but that's okay. Haha, you're a fraud. We also see the Arita to grab an item, which is the Unfair Stamp. Unfair Stamp is a great card, being able to limit the opponent to 2 cards after taking a knockout. That will provide an extra incentive for the opponent to keep Dracloak on the bench to draw cards versus evolving it up. Yeah, I hope Chris can figure it out. He's my best friend. I root for him every time. When there's ever a time that people are down on me and think I'm rude or nasty or whatever else, Chris is always there to step up and show that he cares. That's why we're best buds. We're Bash Brothers. Well, Knox, I guess I'm glad that somebody actually out there is your friend. Thanks, Will. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Ooh, and off the heavy ball? Let's see. Pick Munkidori! Pick Munkidori! Pick Munkidori! Yeah, and with that darkness energy in hand, it would make sense to take advantage of it. Plus, that is extra damage to move off as well. Being able to bench that additional Munkidori is going to be pretty clutch, especially with being able to move around additional damage, which is going to be very important in this match. See, Will, that's why I told you, Munkidori's the best. He's going to win the game for him. Yeah, we'll see if that's foreshadowing for any future events. To be determined, though. Look, Chris just put another Budew on his bench. Looks like he's going to get knocked out again. What do you call that, Will? That's a good question. I don't know why he did that. It's because Chris is smart. It was a diversion so they would go after the Budew instead of the Froslass or the Munkidori. That's some next level thinking. Smart guy, Chris. 4D chess. Well, I mean, good point. I could see that. And we can see that Chris is moving damage over to the Dracloak. Again, getting the 9 hit points on with the potential de-evolution play in the late game is a great opportunity for him to do that now. And we see the attack Mind Bend. Knock his bell for some confusion.
We're going to check in with Chris again. Chris, what are you thinking going into this turn?
I'm feeling okay. My opponent's in a decent spot. However, that Lumineon is setting up and the bench Dracloak has some decent damage on it, so we really have to start putting in some of the other Dreepies. You never see that coming. Oh boy. I can't wait for you to bring the boom. Knox, we said that was lame, so don't do that. Sorry. You're right. Sorry about that.
I'm guessing you're going for the evolution play later, right?
It's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, it definitely is.
This opponent's being so short-sighted with their play. Looks like they just are going to evolve up a Dracloak, and they're just going to put on more damage onto themselves. Every damage counts with this type of list, and if you're not ready for it, you're going to get slammed. Yeah, that's the tricky part. You're never really going to know how many turns it's actually going to take to get the game won. So in between turns, 2 damage counters does really add up. We see here the opponent evolve up a second Dragapult and are returning the active to the bench to get out of confusion.
What up, baby? Take a gamble, play the game like a man.
Playing the game like a man, as in not using any strategy?
Real men just go out there and break stuff, no care for the consequences.
That is pretty bad advice. Don't listen to Knox, guys. And with Dragapult putting damage on, again, that Munkidori does go down as well as the Budew. So the opponent only needs to take 2 more prizes. It's definitely coming down to the wire here. I don't know if there's really a way for Chris to come back considering how far they're down. However, with the Arven in hand, there is at least some hope, but to be determined on that. Seeing a darkness attachment, so that's at least a start here.
Chris is tough. He's a fighter. I have faith in the guy.
With the Arven and Iono in hand, I suspect he'll be grabbing the Arven for a counter catcher, being behind on prizes. Considering Dragapult decks play a lower energy count, that's an opportunity to strain a Pokemon in the active. He also grabbed the Bravery Charm to buff Munkidori's HP to 160, giving extra room for additional damage accumulation.
That Munkidori looks like my Munkidori I had a while back. We pumped iron every day, ended up being a swole boy. Unfortunately, he moved out to join the Loyal 3. Said he wanted to be part of the G life. I get it.
And there's the counter catcher play. Stranding, it looks like the Lumineon here in the active. Considering, again, that the Dragapult decks do not play too many additional energies, and I'm assuming 1 or 2 Earthen Vessels at most. And we see a pass from Chris, since he doesn't have any Pokemon that can attack this turn, and back to the opponent. We could likely see this Lumineon getting stranded in the active until it ends up becoming knocked out. So, to be determined on how this goes. If they can get out, then the Dragapult likely will take the double knockout to win the game, but if not, then Chris still will be in it. So pretty exciting here. We'll see what happens.
It looks like they're grabbing an Arven who has butterfingers and drops sandwiches like a fiend, and will be grabbing a vacuum and a crystal. That vacuum will be removing the charm from Munkidori. What a low blow.
Yeah, that does put Chris in the tough spot, considering the Munkidori will go back down to 110 hit points if that is the case, which would be the logical move here. And considering that 2 damage counters will be put on each turn, I don't know if that Munkidori will be able to survive. The good news is having that Iono in hand and 6 prizes remaining, they will at least be able to have a larger hand to start the next turn, while their opponent will be back down to a 2-card hand again. So they'll probably be stuck for a while. And it looks like straining that Lumineon in the active worked out well for Chris, and the opponent will pass here. It's interesting to see where they place the damage counters, though I would assume we'll see one Dracloak getting 90 damage placed on. That Budew will take some, and the other Dragapult needs a little extra as well.
We see an Iono, which will limit the opponent's hand to 2, bringing that opponent to a halt, and will be taking some prizes. Chris has got this.
We see the Iono and an Ultra Ball, which will grab another Munkidori to move some important damage around.
Smart moves. All Dragapults now have damage on to de-evolve them to get knocked out.
Now we see from here Chris is trying to figure out where this damage will be placed from the Munkidori. We know that the Budew just needs 10 damage counters to be placed to take a knockout there. However, the Dragapults could use some as well too, and considering that we're trying to remove 3 and the Budew only needs 1, may not be the best play at the moment, and at least can hold out for another turn. But then again too, just kind of the way the game plays.
This game is taking forever. Are you kidding me? You're expecting these people to watch for over 20 minutes with a Budew deck?
Budew stinks, Lumineon stinks, where's the Charizard, where's the Gen 1 Pokemon? That's really what we need instead of this type of game. You think that they want some big brain plays? You think they want slow builds? No, they want fast, they want efficient. That's what Pokemon is known for. That's why there's big basics, Will. Well, yeah, I mean, that is true. That is for the most part the MO, and this is more of a meme deck, but at the same time too, we're trying to have fun. We're trying to play with Snorunts, we're trying to play with Frostlasses, we're trying to, show something that's a little different, though I'm sure there's other great YouTubers out there that are presenting this deck as well. But at the same time, welcome guys, have fun. You guys are in here for the long haul. I feel sorry for you. And the thing is, there's got to be more Knox, less Will. I promise you that. I'm going to beat him in an arm wrestling contest later, and then I'm going to own the gym. Knox City Gym. With the Froslass damage, the Lumineon goes down, and Chris is on the board. Now the question is, do they have a boss to bring up one of those bench Pokemon to take a double knockout? Heck no! Chris has got this. Chris never fails. He's the smartest guy I know. So strong. And we're saying boss's orders like Giovanni? Are you kidding me? That guy got beaten by a 10-year-old kid in a gym battle, and then he got ran out of town. Nobody is scared of any bosses. They're pathetic. And if there was a boss in town, that would be me, Knox. Knox would be crushing everyone and stealing all their Pokemon. I mean, considering the legal trouble that you seem to be getting yourself into every once in a while, you're on Officer Jenny's radar again, considering last week you went after that 11-7 guy and accused him of not having prismatic evolutions. I think you need to be careful, Knox. Lay low. Wow, it looks like they don't, so we'll see one more prize taken, and the surviving Munkidori will be left with 10 hit points remaining to start the turn. That Budew play actually looks like it worked out pretty well in hindsight. Wow, man, that's crazy. This looks like the story of the century. And with an Arven in hand, Chris has got this. You're absolutely right. Knock out the Budew! Yeah, so really from here, all Chris needs to do is find a TM Devolution. They will be able to move damage over from the Munkidori to the Budew, and then from there find the Devolution to de-evolve D3 Dragapults to take 4 prizes. Never doubt Chris. He's the GOAT. And off the prizes, we see a TM Devolution, which means down goes 3 Dracloaks, taking 4 prizes in 1 turn. Chris is a beast. My man. Yeah, that's kind of the fun part about this deck. Your opponent thinks that they're ahead and they have it all, but they don't really see the de-evolution coming. So, that's where you can take 4 prizes, finish it off, and walk away feeling like the champion. That's pretty awesome. Great job, Chris. USA! USA! USA!
We will get a post-game with Chris here.
Chris, you stud. I'm taking you out to dinner later. That was an incredible show of strength. Thanks, Knox. I was on the ropes. Couldn't believe it.
However, getting the TM Devolution was the play the whole time and have the evolving deck watch out for those sneaky ways. Yeah, well, thank you, Chris. You played great. Great match. With that item lock Froslass, a pretty fun deck. On that note, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. I'm Gym Leader Will.
And I'm the Iron Man. Dropping elbows, Coach Knox.
See you next time.